Expenses-Okereke, legislative and policy expert, joins us now for more on this. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Well, you've heard the readout of figures that the presidency, the executive plans to purchase yacht, education loan fund, and all manner of things, rehabilitation of roads, schools, and what have you. This fixation on the purchase of SUVs and yachts, is it much ado about nothing? Are we just being emotional when we react, when Nigerians are reacting the way they are?
Well, there are a number of factors. Maybe first, the economic situation in the country. Many people are troubled over insecurity, economic challenges, and even the poverty level of individuals. And of course, this is information age, so people are more aware about the workings of governance. If not, democracy is actually very costly. That is a fact. And also, this is a transition time where, due to some arranged administrative laws, those as transited have taken most of these assets on board and paid off maybe through their severance. So you actually have some operational gaps in terms of equipment for office use and what have you. But again, that is also why we call for massive support for the National Assembly to acquire the capacity to do diligent oversight that can produce the kind of result that we see. Recently, everybody was crying, oh, National Assembly is acquiring vehicles. Today, you can see in the supplementary budget that is not just the National Assembly, but also the executive are spending, huge on that particular, item. But also, if the question to ask is, the 2023 budget is on. This is a supplementary budget, and this is why the National Assembly is very key in this respect, because some of these items may have been, provided also in the 2023 budget that is still running. So this supplementary budget is just an additional provision to cover maybe some emergent issues. But the critical question to ask is the component, the details of each of these items. If we are going to do budget line A and at 12 billion, what are those things that constitute the 12 billion? And is there a place we can cut off something, or this is the prevailing market price? And also look at priority and relevance. How urgent is this needed? Is this eminent? Is this important to deliver governance to the people? But outside that, the truth is that a democracy and the way we run governance in Nigeria cost a lot. More so, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission has that responsibility to design a framework for allowances and salaries of public office holders. Now, it will interest you, just in line with Section 84 of the Constitution and, of course, 70 or 85 of the Ramfak Act. Interestingly, the last time that commission, if I'm correct, was able to publish the annual allowances and the salaries of public officers was as far back as 2009. Now, at that time, vehicle allowance was 400% of your basic salary. And so for most of the public officers, it would just be about 8.1 million naira worth of cars. But is that possible? Is that a reality in the Nigeria of today? So we need to also empower our institutions to work. But again, operational tools, vehicles and co, seem to be left out in our laws completely. So it is administrative and discretionary. So somebody can look at his status and prevailing economic condition and say, no, this is the kind of vehicle that can help me do the job.
You know, Chibuzor, you've raised quite a number of issues as highlighted now. But again, let's pick one, and it has to do with the realities and the economic situation at the moment. Is there a better way to have conveyed this to a people that are so down at the moment? Because you saw poverty level in the country. Do you know how it sounds to a man who's hungry to hear these amounts? When you stretch it, listening to your analysis, it does make sense. But again, how best can it make sense?
Be conveyed.
Yes. to everyday Nigerian?
Well, it is for the public institution to realize that people are more interested in how government works. They are more interested in government expenditure and even revenue and in the conduct and character of public officers. Therefore, you need justification for everything you are doing. And then you need massive support for the only institution empowered to carry out budget scrutiny, which is the National Assembly. So anytime the National Assembly is discredited, incapacitated, then our democracy suffers for it. If you want your democracy to work better, support your legislature to produce the kind of result. Like, I understand this supplementary budget that is up now, how much of scrutiny is going to go into it? Are we able to question provisions that are made for State House, or anything coming from State House is sacrosanct? These are the questions, because the National Assembly is not free. Anything they do is questioned by Nigerian people. So we have to support them to be able to ask questions and also question the executive, and be sensible that when they are being blackmailed, that they need our support as a representative of the people. Without adequate budget scrutiny, so that each budget item is defended in terms of the cost, that the amount that has been put forward, and then the details of it, justifying that we need to spend this, and this is the kind of result we are going to get, like the provisions made for agriculture and food security. What is the target? We have made such provisions in the past. We need the capacity to oversight to know whether that money has produced the kind of economic and food security result that we need.
Right. When you hear there's a provision for a yacht, a 5 billion naira yacht, alongside that, of course, the education loan that's around 5.5 billion naira, and the rehab of schools, 5.1 billion naira. In terms of priority, what should take the day?
Well,
even
in the issue of provision of a yacht for the president, it's not in the State House budget line. I was just discussing it now. It's actually under the Navy. So it's like a security conveyor for the president.
Not a luxury yacht.
Not a luxury yacht. So that needs to, because the budget line is under the Navy, which is under capital budget of Navy for security. So we have to ask ourselves, do we have that yacht before? The one we have, can we rehabilitate it or renew that asset, or do we need to acquire new one? That is where we ask the priority question. And nothing stopped the National Assembly to say, since this is supplementary, and we're just considering the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy papers, we may need to step this down and capture it in the 2024 budget, and probably push more money into the schools across the country. If you look at FCT provisions, about 100 schools that will be renovated
in 100
days, about 10 billion or so. Then security, about 100 billion in FCT. If you know the amount of kidnapping going on in FCT today, then you realize that we probably need to do that, but it needs to be properly, guided and oversight adequately provided.
Chibuzor Okereke, thank you for spacesheeting this and also clarifying it's not a luxury yacht, and it's also something that has to do with security and falls under the purview of the Navy. Chibuzor Okereke, legislative and policy expert. Many thanks for your time.
Thank you.